So we're going to check this video out from the good brother O'Shea Duke Jackson. This video is from his channel called Kinganda. New York City opens migrant-only hotels so African Americans do this.
We are in a hot presidential election. It's been weird. Joe Biden dropped out. Kamala Harris is in. And Kamala Harris is in the honeymoon phase, raising so much money, over $200 million. Hey, it's looking really, really, really tight. And it now comes down to the situations that many of us as Black people, especially the African American community, are concerned about. People ask me all the time, why are you going to go ahead on and push that lever for Trump? And I'm going to tell you one thing only. Really, mainly one. I don't really care about the interracial dating and marriage thing, her having a white husband who Kamala Harris slept with. For me, that's jargon. I'm not really dealing with those things, not important. This is what is important.
I don't want to be that person that's hating, but I guess I gotta be. Do you see this new ass building? New, brand spanking new. Supposed to be an apartment, but it's a shelter. And so I go and I'm like, all right, so what shelter? And they're like, it's not a women's it's not a women's shelter. It's a family shelter. I'm like, okay, family intake shelter. Yeah, but only for immigrants. Wait. What the fuck do you mean? Do you know how many of these fucking buildings they've been building in New York that's supposed to include subsidized housing, but now it's just shelters for immigrants? Like, what? How about homeless people that are already here? Americans. Like, I don't want to be that person that sounds like, close to border type shit, but like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Brand spanking fucking new. Like, everything brand spanking fucking new. Shit is still in the fucking wrap, bro. Like, and that was a fucking shelter.
Now, I want to get back to that point. There is this lady who is a New Yorker. And remember, New Yorkers are supposed to be able to get Section 8 housing. Those things, the program just supposedly opened up maybe like 19 or 18 years ago. Never opened it up. We do see that brand new high rise, don't we? Yeah, it looks good. This was happening also to people in Harlem, New York. People who were poor, people who were looking for shelter, people who were homeless couldn't get on. Now, let me talk about this also in another way. Kamala Harris, as a presidential candidate, already has expressed that she's not interested in reparations. For me, that's a second strike. I don't know if I'll be here or be alive when reparations is passed for the African American community. I'm not sure, but I do know that's the strike number 2. The first strike is immigration and also reparations. Both of them for me are equal, but definitely reparations will take precedence over the two. However, I want you to hear what Kamala Harris's dedication is to those who are immigrants.
She's not into reparations, but she gave $26.4 billion to her community for businesses and grants and all those type of things, but she's not into reparations.
We also have to put in place a law and a plan for a pathway for citizenship for the millions of people who are here and are prepared to do what is legally required to gain citizenship. We don't have that in place because people are playing politics.
Now, the legendary late Amos Wilson made a case. People thought he was crazy back then when he stood up on the podium and he said this.
This 40% of the population growth in the United States is being fueled by immigration. Hear what I'm saying? That means other groups are coming in here piling up on top of black folk by the tons, and they're better educated. If you compare, for instance, Koreans and others with blacks, you can see, and Asian with blacks, 46% of the people got college degrees. And we're talking about black people with about 16 or 13%. What are you talking about? These people, and they provide 35% of the people coming into America today. The white man is even hiring people against himself. against his own children.
Now, he's right. He's talking about immigration, but he was talking about educated immigration, people who were doing it legally. See, that's what he was telling. That was his thought process. He would have had no idea about this illegal immigration going on today in 2024. But also, Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this.
We anticipate by that point in time, based on all the research that's coming to us, that the next generation of whites are going to be more anti-black than they've been since the civil rights movement. 2, we anticipate by the same token about 86 million Hispanics coming into the United States and about 41 million Asians by that point in time, which is going to kick black folk out of being the minority in the society down to a minority. We've been number 2 in the society for 400 years as a group. We're going to become number 4. And if we have not gotten anything after being number 2 for 400 years, you guess what's going to happen when we become number 4. Because at that point in time, all the new groups coming into America, they're coming in higher than we are because this country operates off of a preferential acceptance program, which means that groups are coming in based on skin color. They're going from the lightest down to the darkest. Light, yellow, brown, black. And that's what our immigration laws are based on. And black folk would not be able to penetrate through those groups to get to the white society when that happens, because those groups owe us nothing. They don't understand our problems, and they are competitive with us, and we don't begin to be a little more aggressive about being in a competitive posture. They're going to eat our lunches.
So, O'Shea, what are you getting at? Why are you voting for Donald Trump? Why are so many African Americans voting for Donald Trump?
You've said that you can take care of the border in 24 hours after taking office. How will you gather the several millions that have already entered our country illegally and return them to their country of origin?
Great question. It's not sustainable for our country. We have millions and millions of people here. It is not sustainable. Did you see in New York City where they're getting the regular students out and they're putting migrants in their place? We are going to have the largest deportation effort in the history of our country. We're bringing everybody back to where they came from. We have no choice. We have no choice.
You see, Donald Trump wants to get those people out of the country. And see, here's another thing that we're not looking at. Unfortunately, here's a sad story where illegal migration can hurt the African American community, but this time in crime. Now check this out. A previously deported illegal immigrant known to cops allegedly deleted a Virginia college student in a nightmare car crash. Now, this particular person was only 18 years old, Honduran national Elvis Hamir Cruz Ferreira. Now, he had been deported 6 years ago as a 12-year-old. What do you have to be deported as a 12-year-old? You have to be doing all kinds of debauchery, right? He comes back into the United States, and who dies because of that? Old Dominion University student Lauren Nicole Leonard, who's only 19 years old. So somebody who shouldn't even be in America kills somebody in the black community. This beautiful young lady right here, who was only a freshman or going into her sophomore year, loses her life. And I don't even want to show you how her car looked. It's that bad and it's that sad. So we lose somebody from our community who could have been somebody's mother, somebody's wife, this is someone's daughter, someone that could have came back and helped our community. Nope, this illegal migrant took somebody from our community. So here you have this young woman that is killed or deleted. Hold on. So you have this young woman who loses her life based off an illegal immigrant. Now, in the case of the immigrants that come over that are more educated and can do well, if I had a choice between the two of those, I would pick the first. I used to work for a company called Solar City, which was owned partly by Tesla, Elon Musk. Elon Musk started Tesla and it picked up that company. So there are some African Americans that work for Tesla that pay their rent by being an employee of Tesla. They get opportunities to at least get skills at that job and maybe go into another company with that job. Elon Musk owns X, Twitter. You might have African Americans working there. So if they're smart and intelligent and they're bringing their money, they can possibly start businesses, and they can, start things like, Google. We have people who are foreigners. WhatsApp. That adds to the American economy. The problem is when you have illegal immigrants who need help and they need money, they're taking away the resources. And the resources from who? Let's focus on two cities. Black New York, which we already know is in dire need. I mean, New York City, you can open up the front door, you're in the backyard, the house is so small, you know what I mean? And you spending $4,000 a month. I have one of my good friends lives in Brooklyn. Yo, man, it's high to live in Brooklyn. And so a person like that who's renting and they're struggling, then a person comes in and the federal government puts these immigrants there. And we've seen certain things in Queens, people in prostitution. This is not every immigrant that's in the migrant crisis right now. We understand that, but they have a hard time contributing to the economy. That's the issue. So what do you do in things like that? What do you do with things like that? You want more resources for yourself, because I can tell you right now, you can't go to Uganda and become a migrant and benefit. If that's the case, a lot of African Americans will be moving to Africa. If we could get on like that, they won't let us get on like that. You can't do that. You have to come to these countries and you have to bring your money and your resources to do anything on this continent or any other country in Latin America, South America, Central America, however you want to look at it, the Caribbean, Europe, right? You're not going to get no asylum as an American. Unless maybe, you're in the Eurozone, you might be somewhere from a poor place, but you have to financially contribute. That's why Donald Trump needs to be elected, because Kamala Harris, number one, is against reparations. Number two, you want to go ahead on and give citizenship to people who are here illegally. That's my thoughts. I'm sticking to it. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. I'm out.